I want to give a quick shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for your support. Hey y'all, it's Kate from Apothecary and welcome back to another episode of Bibliotherapy Sunday. Now today's video we're going to be talking about The Great Gatsby. This here is the graphic novel version, which is the version I just recently read. We're going to talk about The Great Gatsby in general, but this version is, before I get started on my bibliotherapy recommendations, I just wanted to say that this is my first time experiencing a classic book in graphic novel form, and I absolutely loved it. I thought that Fred Fordham, who adapted the text into graphic novel format, did a fantastic job of condensing the beautiful prose of F. Scott Fitzgerald into graphic novel form. He condensed it so it was small enough, but still kept the spirit of the story, still kept the important parts of the story, and it felt like it was The Great Gatsby miniaturized, and it was such a fun way to experience one of my favorite classics of all time. The pictures were done well. Some people would prefer different kinds of pictures, but I thought that they kind of fit the theme. So here we have Gatsby's house, his pool, with some of the characters here. This is Gatsby and that's Daisy. And I just thought like it captured this kind of artwork, just kind of captured the spirit of The Great Gatsby well. This here is our main character, our narrator, Nick Carraway. And, you know, I just thought it did a fantastic job of getting the spirit of Gatsby into picture format. So, now that I got that out of my way, yes, I gave that 5 out of 5 stars because I thought it was absolutely brilliant. We're here for a bibliotherapy video, so let's get on with the bibliotherapies. So, the Novel Cure actually has The Great Gatsby down for 3 different recommendations. First is the 10 best audiobooks, which obviously the graphic novel version won't help you with that, but the world of Gatsby and West Egg, I've never listened to it on audiobook, but I can just imagine how amazing it would be on audiobook. So according to the Novel Cure, one of the 10 best audiobooks. Also, according to the Novel Cure, one of the 10 best novels for seeming well read. A lot of people, when they want to pretend to be well read, which I'm not sure why you would do that, but some people do, to impress other random people, they will say that they've read The Great Gatsby without actually reading it. It's not a very long book, even in its original format. It's not a long book. I think it's very, very engaging, and it keeps my attention throughout the whole thing. And I just think like F. Scott Fitzgerald's prose is just so beautiful, so amazing. So I don't know why you would want to pretend to be well read instead of just being well read. But this is, I guess, one of the 10 books that the Novel Cure recommends to read, so that way you don't have to read all of the books and you can still seem well read. And then the last recommendation from the Novel Cure is for being broke. So in The Great Gatsby, there's this theme about extravagance and riches, and all of that is just on perception. These characters want to seem as though they're a lot more wealthier than they might actually be. The world of Gatsby is all about perception. They want to put on the show. Gatsby holds these humongous, extravagant parties, so he seems like he has his life together, he's wealthy, and all of this stuff. And I won't go any farther than that because that'll give away spoilers for the book. If you haven't read The Great Gatsby yet, you really need to go read this book. If you are intimidated by classics, I highly recommend picking it up in the graphic novel form. I think there's 2 different versions. Like I said, the one that I have is adapted by Fred Fordham, illustrated by I.M. Morton. And the other great thing about this edition, it has an introduction that was written by F. Scott Fitzgerald's, I believe, great-granddaughter. And like, that just blew me away. I didn't know that there was still surviving relatives of F. Scott Fitzgerald and Zelda Fitzgerald. I absolutely love that couple. They are like one of my favorite couples from history. Their story is just so fascinating to me, and I love Fitzgerald's writing. And she just, so her name is Blake Hazard, and she said that she got this idea, this graphic novel adaptation was her idea, the great-granddaughter of F. Scott Fitzgerald. And she said that she got this idea from seeing the adaptation by the same guy, Fred Fordham. He adapted To Kill a Mockingbird into the graphic novel, and she saw that and she said, we need to do that with The Great Gatsby. And so the fact that this was her idea is just absolutely cool. And she says in the last paragraph of this introduction, she writes, my great-grandfather appreciated the new almost as much as he revered the classic and timeless. I believe he would be charmed by this fresh imagining with its faithfulness to the text and its beautiful vision of Gatsby's world. And that just, like, that was the first time that we were told that the person writing this introduction was related to F. Scott Fitzgerald. And I read that, and then I had to read it a couple more times, and then I went to Google to see, like, she's saying my great-grandfather. Does she mean Fitzgerald? Who is she talking about? And then Google confirmed that Blake Hazard is the great-granddaughter of F. Scott Fitzgerald, and my mind was just blown. So this was my bibliotherapy video for The Great Gatsby. The Novel Cure recommends it, like I said, for 3 different things. One of the best audiobooks to listen to, one of the best books to read to seem well read, and of course a recommendation for being broke. So let me know in the comments below what your recommendations are for The Great Gatsby. What kind of life elements do you think would be The Great Gatsby would be a good cure for? As always, my Patreon and my Discord information will be in the description below. There's no pressure to join either, but we have a ton of fun at both. Keep reading, and I love you all to the moon and back. Bye.